Hey everybody, we're going to continue the review of this practice test for Unit 1 at WAMAP with PEMDAS. Okay, our first problem is 31 minus 3 times, and we have absolute value brackets here. Those may be new for some of you. 2 minus 9 times 6 minus 4. What's that equal to? So they want us to simplify the expression or evaluate it. Those both mean basically the same thing. So, PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication or division, addition or subtraction. And of course, parentheses also includes curly brackets, square brackets, also called hard brackets, or square root signs, or the line between a numerator and a denominator. Those keep the two parts separate. You have to do all the operations before you can let them interact with each other. Exponents. I told you a lie. I want to revise my answer. We're not going to put square root bracket. Square root bracket goes here with exponents. So exponents are the little numbers that are raised up to the side, like 2 squared is equal to 2 times 2. And this little number up here just means how many times you're going to multiply the same number by itself. So 2 squared is 4, 2 cubed is 8. So those are exponents, or the roots. And then multiplication or division, addition or subtraction. So we have to look at this and decide what operation goes first. Let's go through and count the operations, or at least mark them. We've got 31 minus, so there's a subtraction operation here. What happened to my pencil? Oh, there it is. Subtraction operation, and there's a multiplication, unwritten multiplication, right? This number's right next to this. Then 2 minus 9, here's another subtraction, and another, this is 9 times, so you have to be careful to catch these. When a number's right next to a bracket, it's going to be multiplication, right? Which we see here and here. All right, so PEMDAS, I don't see, so we're going to start looking in parentheses, which we have here, right? We got this absolute value brackets. And absolute value brackets convert whatever's inside into a positive integer. Or positive, they take away the negativity. They have a really great outlook on life. And when those brackets go away, they take the negativity with them. So what we have here is subtraction, multiplication, and subtraction within those brackets. So we're going to start with multiplication. And what we're going to, oops, no we're not. Just back up. We've got nested parentheses here. So we're looking at these, we're going deep. And our first thing we're going to evaluate is 6 minus 4. Okay, let's get rid of this and get rid of this. So 6 minus 4, we can evaluate that to 2 if we have a pen we're working with. So 2, and then we're going to save these parentheses around it, minus 9 or negative 9, and another 2. And let me erase a little bit more here. You're just going to have to memorize PEMDAS, which you already, PEMDAS, we're doing that this week, aren't we? So you should have almost down pat, 31 minus 3. So this took care of one operation, right? We got our subtraction out of the way that was in parentheses. So now we've got these, there's no operation in here anymore. So we're looking outside, and we have subtraction and multiplication that are inside these brackets. So we're going to go with this, negative 9 times 2, right? So a negative times a positive, the signs are different. We're going to get a negative answer, negative 18, and we're going to bring down the 2 here. And save those, bring those brackets with you. And you might have noticed I'm only doing one operation. I'm doing one operation per step. And It's a little bit bothersome to write out, and I hated to do it when I was learning math, but it will help you be more accurate, and the main thing is to get a lot of answers correct. So this will be worth the extra time. And you'll have plenty of time to take this, and I think on your test there will only be 12 questions on Unit 1 and 12 questions for Unit 2. So just put the time in and do a good job. Get them all right. So we ended up with 2 minus 18, so let's evaluate that in a different color. 2 minus 18 is how much? So we have positive 2, negative 8, negative 18. So the signs are different. We're going to take the difference, which means we're going to subtract 2 from 18 and get 16. Preliminary answer. And then the bigger number between 2 and 18 is 18, and the sign of 18 is negative. So that makes us negative 16. So we did that evaluation. And then we still have these absolute value brackets. So next step, we're going to take these away, but when they go, all the negativity disappears with them. That leaves us with a positive 16. And we've got 3 here. We're multiplying by that, and 31 minus that. So now we have just 2 operations. 2 operations. We have subtraction and then the unwritten multiplication here. So PEMDAS says, hey, I lost my connection. I'm just noticing you're not seeing what I'm writing. That's very strange. All right, so let me see if I can reconnect. Right, well, instantly it's there. So I don't know why that wasn't writing up on the board. Anyway, Zoom now is fighting with everyone for. I just need to move this up here. Zoom has rewritten their software, so they're taking more things over. So I think right now there was just it reconnected somehow, or disconnected when it was doing something. So anyway, we evaluated 1 operation per line. So for this line, we evaluated 2 minus 18. We got negative 16, and then we were going to take away these absolute value brackets, which left positive 16, and then we continued working. We had a 3 times positive 16, and then 31 minus whatever that was. So what we can do is look at this like negative 3 times 16. So that would be, the signs are different, so we're going to end up with a negative answer. 3 times 16, same as 6 times 8, right? So we say 48. Negative 48, and then we're going to bring down the 31. We used up this negative sign here, so don't worry about that. We got 31 minus 48, and what does that evaluate to? Positive 31, negative 48. The signs are different, so we're going to take the difference, which looks like about 17, and the larger number is negative, so it's going to be negative 17. It's a negative prime number. Let's see if that works, negative 17. Oh, good. Okay. And let's see, I think, so that's how you do that. Absolute value brackets may be new, but they do count as brackets in PEMDAS, okay? Let's look at Q6. This one might be a little bit easier, although if you're new to negative numbers, it can be a lot of negativity. Negative 4, negative 3, negative 3, and what's that equal to? All right, so first thing I'm going to advise you to do is try to get it so that there's only, you don't have signs doubled up. So here we have we're subtracting a negative, and here we're also subtracting a negative. So we just want to have one operation between numbers. When you subtract a negative, it's the same as adding a positive. So we're going to rewrite this as plus 4 and rewrite this as plus 3. So we have negative 7 plus 4 minus 3 plus 3. Okay? Does that make sense? So all we did was we evaluated those double negatives. And it's a lot like English grammar. And in fact, I think that's why we say you can't make no double negatives no how, because logically, double negatives, at least in math, become a positive. So let's go ahead and work this. Now, if we follow the rules of PEMDAS, we have one operation to, well, this is a sign. So 1, 2, 3, 4 operations, right? And then this is the sign. So these are all addition or subtraction. So that is the final check in PEMDAS. So we'll just work from left to right. So -7 plus 4. -7 plus 4, how would that evaluate? The signs are different. We're going to take the difference between the numbers, which is 3. 7 is bigger than 4, so we're going to have -3. Okay, that's how this evaluates. And then I'm going to recopy. I know there's some of you who think you'll remember, and if you do, that's awesome. But I advise you just to rewrite it each time. -3 minus 4, okay? So this is all negative. So we're going to we'll start at -3 on the number line and go 4 to the left. We're going to end up with -7. And then we're going to copy down the rest of these numbers. Now, if you are quick on your feet and you're looking ahead a little bit, you might have noticed that we have here positive and -3. Those are going to cancel each other out. So you could do that. Or, if you like, you can just evaluate these. -7 minus 3 is going to be -10, and then we plus 3. And then the signs are different, so take the difference, and this will evaluate to 7. And then the larger number has a negative sign, so the answer will also. So -7. Either way, if you follow all the correct steps, you'll get the correct answer. And that's what it's all about. -7. Go green. Yay. And where are we now? Q12. Let's take a look at this. I was trying to group these together so that it would be more efficient. So here we have 2, square bracket 2, plus 4 times 5 times 9 minus 2, parenthesis, square bracket. What's that equal to? So just for giggles, you got to have those in math class. We have 1 multiplication. Here's it doesn't even look like addition. Sorry. And then another unwritten multiplication and a written multiplication and a subtraction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 operations. This is called a 5-step PEMDAS problem. You've got 5 operations and you have to decide what order. So we're going to go deep into the parentheses. First inside the square brackets, and once you're inside, you start looking for more brackets or parentheses, and here they are. So we're going to work inside these parentheses here. We're going to evaluate this before we do anything else. Inside the parentheses, we have 2 operations, multiplication and subtraction. So PEMDAS tells us that multiplication has to go first. So we're going to evaluate 5 times 9. 45 minus 2, and I'm going to rewrite everything. And then 4 times that plus 2, square bracket 2. All right? Now, the deepest, most deeply nested part is still this, so we're going to evaluate this next. We're going to get 43, and then 4. Let's put the square bracket in. 2 and 2. So now we have this, we have these bigger brackets now, square brackets. So inside these square brackets, we've got addition and multiplication. So even though this is on the left and you would read it first, 2 plus 4 times 43, PEMDAS tells us that we have to multiply first. So we're going to evaluate this, 4 times 43. 4 times 40 is 160. 4 times 3 is 12. 160 plus 12, I'm guessing 172. And you can always do that longhand like this. 4 times 43. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 1 is 17. All right, probably close to right. And then I'm going to put these brackets around and keep going. So we still have brackets, right? And so PEMDAS tells us we have to do that first. We're going to evaluate 2 plus 172, that's 174. And just keep those brackets for good measure. 2 times that. 2 times 174. If you had $1.75 twice, how much would that be? $3.50? Then subtract 2 pennies. $3.48. Sometimes I like to try and turn a problem into money. Then makes it more interesting for one thing, but then it's sometimes easier to calculate. All right, fingers crossed. Here we go. It's a miracle. Okay, my mommy would be so proud. The next one, Q15. Let's take a look. Okay, we've got more absolute value brackets. Absolute value of 12 minus 60. Remember those absolute value brackets get rid of all negativity. They make everything right in the world. Okay, 12 minus 60 divided by negative 4. So although there are parentheses around negative 4, how do we know we don't do anything here? Anyone remember? There's no operation here. Let's look at our operations. We have subtraction and we have division. So in order to test your knowledge of the rules of PEMDAS, they have to mix it up a little bit, right? So normally we would want to do division first, but we have these absolute value brackets, and anything in brackets has to go first. So 12 minus 60, how much is that? Got positive 12, negative 60. Signs are different, so we take the difference, right? That means 48. And the negative 60 is bigger than 12. So 60 is bigger than 12, so we take the same sign. We got negative 48. Hang on to those absolute value brackets for a while. And then for the next step, we're going to do the purification ritual. We're going to take away the absolute value brackets now. We're ready. And that becomes 48. 48 divided by negative 4, right? So now we have a positive number divided by a negative number, and the answer will be negative, right? So if you're a little rusty on these rules, look in the, we've got the worksheets in Canvas, and it's with the Zoom address, the Zoom link and everything else, all those handy links in one place. So 48 divided by 4, the answer is going to be negative. What does that evaluate to? 48 divided by 4 is 12, right? And it's going to be negative. So let's see if we did it correctly. It's a really fancy way of writing negative 12, but they just want to make sure you know the rules. And so make sure you show your work. Okay, good. I'm batting 1,000. My first time through didn't go that well. I had to destroy the tapes. All right, Q17 is next. Add or subtract. Maybe I'll just do it on the same. We've got 3 plus negative 5 plus 7 minus negative 2. So my suggestion is to always simplify these expressions. So we're combining 3 with negative 5, so let's just call it what it is, 3 minus 5 plus 7, and minus negative 2, double negative makes a positive, plus 2, okay? Now, according to PEMDAS, we're at the bottom of the PEMDAS totem pole, P-E-M or D, A or S. So we're looking for A or S, and these are all A's and S's, right? Subtraction, addition, addition. So the rule is when you've got all the same level left, that's all we're doing, we go from left to right. So we'll start with 3 minus 5. Okay, 3 minus 5, we got it, negative 2. And so one way to calculate that, positive 3, negative 5, signs are different. Take the difference between them, and then the sign of the larger number. Okay, so that's going to give us negative 2 plus 7 plus 2. So we're going to evaluate, let's evaluate it to that. Negative 2 plus 7, it's the same as 7 minus 2, but you can look at it however you want. Negative 7, negative 2, positive 7, signs are different. So take the difference between the two, which is 5. And the larger number has a positive sign, so it's going to be positive 5 plus 2. And then 5 plus 2 is 7. And you can write the positive sign if you want to, but you don't have to. All right. See if this works. Positive. Oh, I'm not going to put that in. That's a rookie thing. Okay. Let's see. This has already been 20 minutes worth of chat. Here it comes. Last one in this set. Okay. Last little PEMDAS guy. PEMDAS jewel. 11 plus 4 times 6 plus 3 minus 4. And so count up your operations and see what they are. Remember, some operations are invisible. There's a plus. There's an unwritten multiplication. There's an addition, and there is a subtraction. 4 operations. So you're already seeing, right? So if we write in P, E, M, or D, A, or S, we're going to start, well, we're going to start here with the P in PEMDAS, of course, obviously. So we're going to do this first, 6 plus 3. That evaluates to 9, and then I'm going to rewrite the whole thing again. And hang on to these parentheses one time because we're going to have multiplication. Sometimes helps keep things clear. So we've got this, now that we're done with the parentheses, there's no operation in these parentheses, so we're going to continue with our multiplication. Let's go with black, so bold. 4 times, and we've got plus and minus. So 4 times 9, 36, minus 4, and then 11 plus that. So now we're down to just addition and subtraction. So we go left to right. 11 plus 36, let's evaluate that to 47, minus 4, evaluate that to 43, and see how we did. 43. Oh, good. Awesome. So practice these. You can practice these over and over. You can try another similar question, and it will serve up something slightly different. And actually, the test you take next week when we do our midterm will be just like a different version of the same test. So if you can do these and do well, then you'll probably also do well on the test. But make sure you give it a really good try. Wow, so I'm just noticing... that that it didn't, wow, I'm offended. Okay, so this is the screenshot of what I was doing, and I don't know why it didn't share any of this with you, but I can walk through this again. So I wrote out PEMDAS, and remember it's P-E-M or D, A or S, so some people think they go all the way down, but multiplication and division are actually, they're inverse operations, so they're like the same thing but through a mirror, and addition and subtraction the same way. That's why you can say subtracting a number is the same as adding a negative. So I wrote in all the operations. So this is a 4-step PEMDAS problem. And then we started in the parentheses, which we're supposed to do. And many of these don't have, they don't have a, this keeps slipping down. They don't have an exponential component. So they're fairly simple. Either parentheses and then just regular operations. So we went with the operation inside parentheses, then the multiplication, and then we went left to right because all we had left was addition and subtraction, and we got 43. All right, I'm going to stop here. This has been 25 minutes. Thanks for listening if you made it this far. And we'll see you in the next one, which will be PEMDAS with negative numbers. Stay tuned.